Welcome everyone to episode 5 of BrayBerry Pictures Podcast, where we'll be talking about location scouting and the importance of it.
Two easy ways to do some location scouting. One, you don't even have to leave the house. You can literally get online and use Google Maps, which is a really easy way to get aerial views of, the whole location and places that you couldn't easily get to, which would save you a ton of time, which is for free. And the other is go jump in your car and just drive around, your local area and, scout with your eyes. See if there's anything that sticks out to you. And then from there, you can actually get an address and go up into the process of getting a permit to actually shoot on that location.
Yes, and another place you can go to is the app. It's called Gigster. You can go on there. They have a bunch of different venues that you can look through. It has restaurants, patios. You got houses. If you need a mansion, it's a good place. If you need a house, it's a good place. You can just look on there. It costs. I think the lowest I saw was $50 an hour, which is a really, really good deal. But just make sure you do have um, your permits and everything together to use them, and they're gonna let you know as far as like insurance how much you need to film there. But that's not super expensive either.
When you approach these places to get permission to film on their property, let them know who you are, as in, are you a small production? Are you a student production? Freelance? Are you big time? All of that can really determine the price. There's a lot of people that are more than willing to work with low budget productions. They are just willing to help out artists. And there's other people, like if you're a big budget, they're going to want you to pay them a lot of money. That's just how it is. So when you first approach them, they might give you a ridiculous quote. And then if you tell them like, hey, I'm a low budget, producer, this is what I'm working with, a lot of times they'll just be like, hey, you can just shoot here for free.
Right. When I did my senior thesis, that kind of happened to me. They wanted it was a beach in Amelia Island. When I first did it, I forgot to tell them that I was a student, and they was trying to charge me 2,000 an hour for their photography package to film there. And I was like, oh wait, I'm a student. I don't have that. Is there any way we can take the price down? And I got another email back saying, oh, you're a student. Yeah, you can do it for free. Just show them this email if anyone says anything, like you're all good. So definitely if you're a student, you definitely have like that lenience to film places that other people cannot. And give them the script. Because when I was doing some filming and we used this campsite, like we had to give them the script, I guess to make sure that it wasn't nothing crazy. But definitely have that available and ready to send to the location if they ask for it, because some places will ask for it.
So another good thing to do once you've found your location and once you've got it secure, you know, don't go there just once to secure it. Go back and see what everything is going to be like at this location. Get your, photos for your shot list, like so you can make your shot list off of the location. And you want to be able to go there at multiple different times throughout the day. Like you want to know what the sun is going to do in the early mornings and in the evenings, because if it's behind a building and you lose an entire hour of shooting because that sun's not hitting where you need it to be. And you could have known that if you had been there to check it out, rather than just gambling on the fact the day of the shoot. You want to see how the whole set will change throughout the day. You want to be there in the morning, throughout the day, in the evening, take photos along the whole way, kind of set up a little like collage of all the photos so you can use that to help build your storyboard and your shot list, because you know how the light's going to act, and you can just plan your shots much more effectively around that. Once you find this location that you want, get the proper permits and the proper documentation to, secure the location. That way you actually have the right to be there and no one can really get in your way or tell you no, because you have the proper permits to do what you're doing. And just as an example, we were filming in a savannah, and we had to close down a small portion of a street, not a full closure, just a very small section of it. And we had our proper permits, and we notified all the neighbors. And again, I do recommend letting everyone in the area know what you're doing and when you're doing it. It just shows a little bit of professionalism, and no one's really gonna try and get in your way if they already know what's happening. But we had a police officer roll up on us, and because of the road closure, and we had our proper documentation. I assumed that they contacted their home base, were notified of it, and they just went on their way and left us alone, and we continued filming.
Right. And another importance of having the documentations ready and together is that if you plan on using it for a festival, depending on how big that festival is, you need to have the documents to show them that you are allowed to film wherever it is that you're filming at. Like I know those big ones like Sundance, like you have to have the documentation showing that, you have permission to film there. Even the 48-hour film challenge, like we had to have documentation showing that we were able to film whatever we was filming at. So that's super important in that way as well.
People like don't overlook getting permits with the city. Like that's what we're talking about. And yeah, it does cost money, but they're cheap, so it's just worth it.
Dirt cheap. So like whenever you're scouting, make sure you know where you can put base. That's going to be important. Also, you want to make sure that there's electricity there. If you need to bring a generator, is there restrooms? How far is the restrooms from your base? Do you need to bring porta potties? Like all of those things are important whenever you're location scouting. Also, you want to make sure there's no like train tracks there, because that's going to be a huge issue. And make sure like planes don't fly over like very often in that area. That way you don't have to deal with like ADR or deal with it as much. And what we did, well, not the one me and you did, but I was on another set. We had a golf cart that we used because base was a low distance from where we was actually shooting. So that's something that you need to know, because you don't want your actors walking long distance to go on base and having to, especially if it's like action things, right? So you want them to make sure their legs are good and fresh. So if you do need to get a golf cart or something because base and where you're actually shooting is far, make sure you have that available.
Yeah, that's a good point on ADR, because if you have to do ADR, that's going to add a couple more days to your post-production. And if you're paying these actors, you're going to have to pay them extra to come in, extra to do voice recording. You can plan around, like you said, a busy street, or maybe you're close to an airport. And you could think that those trucks and those airplanes are far away, but those microphones are going to pick up every bit of that noise. And another important thing to remember is that when you do these location scoutings, if it's out in nature, things change. And a good example of that from one of our film sets is when we did our location scout, we had a cool little cutout into the grass to get back into the woods. And then when we came back a few months later to actually film, the grass and the weeds had grown up pretty tall, and there was all these cool little purple flowers, blooming everywhere, which gave this really cool pop of color when we pushed the camera through the brush, which was unexpected, but it was awesome.
Yes, it looked really good. We were lucky that happened. But I don't know how you would like get around that unless you bring like a weed whacker or something just in case. But obviously if it's like a property that like they do business on, it should be the same, because I'm pretty sure they'll keep their grass and things low. But if it's like we used like a friend's, they had acres of land, so obviously they're not cutting it because they're not out there as much. But
it's stuff like that. People don't realize, like, you can't plan for, like, say in your script it calls for a foggy morning. It's like, you can do your best and try and plan for the time of year when foggy mornings happen, but you cannot guarantee a foggy morning unless you have some crazy production. I mean, you can obviously fog up a room with some, effects and like sprays and that kind of special effects stuff, but not a whole street. Obviously, again, with seasons changing, if you go out there in summer and you plan for all this greenery, and then you come back and film in winter and everything is now dead and brown, if you didn't know that was going to happen, I don't know how to help you past that
Right.
point.
Right. Because now you gotta wait until things get better. Things turn green. And that's what we did like when we location scout for the pilot, not the yeah, the pilot that we're gonna do. I took pictures of the location because I feel like we're gonna film around that time. So I took pictures of the location at that time. That way we know what colors we're going to have. Because right now, was I guess not right now because it's snowing. It's snowing in Atlanta. It looks a little different, but it should look the right color that we need whenever it's time for filming. So like last time, whenever we did shoot at the little barn, when you're scouting, you also want to make sure that there's no playgrounds around because there were kids there, and it was hard to film because we couldn't really do anything because they weren't in the area that we actually booked. So only thing we can do, hey, do you mind quieting down? And they really didn't, but they didn't have to because that wasn't our area. So just kind of want to make sure you cover everything. Maybe try to book the playground as well, like if you have to make sure that no one's there and there's no interruptions there. And also know your walls, like where we had the barn. So when it rained, we really couldn't film because it was loud. We heard every drop, everything. So we kind of had to wait for the rain to stop. So that added even more time on our shoot days. So it's just things that we learned on set that maybe some of you guys can avoid.